Hello, my name is Miss Carly Noonan and I am the head of the Secondary English Department. I will cover for you the content of Key Stage 4 English Language and English Literature. Allow me firstly to introduce you to our English team. You have myself, our coordinators, Miss Collins and Miss Ahmed, as well as the rest of the English teaching staff. I'll break down for you the course content and how our English GCSEs here at WSO actually work. So all students, when they leave us at the end of Year 11, will obtain 2 GCSEs, one in English Language and one in English Literature. The English Language GCSE students will obtain a grade A star to G at the end of Year 11, and in the English Literature GCSE, a grade 1 to 9. In terms of the way that each of the courses are broken down, the English Language GCSE constitutes a 2-hour external examination, which is worth 50% of students' final grade. It's a paper which is marked out of 80 and assesses a number of skills including reading comprehension, summary writing, language analysis, and transformational writing. Along with this, students will write a coursework portfolio, which is also worth 50% of their final grade. In the portfolio are 3 pieces of writing, one of which is a descriptive writing piece, another is a narrative writing piece, and the third and final is a response to a text or an argumentative writing piece. The completed folder is marked out of 80, and the examination board that we study for English Language is Cambridge International 0500. All coursework for the English Language GCSE is completed between the winter break of Year 9 and the October half term of Year 10, and the coursework portfolio can be redrafted once through by students using advice and guidance from teachers to ensure that their coursework is in the best possible position, marks-wise and grade-wise, before it is sent off to the examination board. The external exam then will be sat at the end of Year 11. When it comes to English Literature, we have 2 external examinations, both of which are sat at the end of Year 11. One of those exams is 1 hour 45 minutes long, and students are assessed on their understanding of a modern drama text, an Inspector Calls, and a literary heritage text, Shakespeare's Macbeth. This paper is marked out of 60 and is worth 40% of the students' final grade. The second external examination is a 2-hour examination and assesses students on their understanding of our prose text of Mice and Men and a collection of poetry, again alongside an unseen poetry exploration. This particular paper is marked out of 90 and is worth 60% of the students' final grade. The examination board for literature is Pearson EdXL 4ET1. All literature examination study begins at the end of Term 2 in Year 10 and ends in Term 3 of Year 11. The breakdown of the course is as follows. Because the content of the English Language in GCSEs is so extensive, we begin to study a number of the skills in Year 9. So Year 9 will begin with a Shakespeare study of Romeo and Juliet and a poetry study of a collection of poems centred on the theme of identity in Term 1 of Year 9 for all students. In Term 2 then, we move on to the writing of our coursework portfolio, and we begin Term 2 with the creative writing project and the completion of the descriptive writing coursework. In the second half of Term 2, we begin our narrative writing coursework piece. In Term 3 then, students will begin preparation for their PTE examination, the KHDA external examination, before finalising Year 9 with an Of Mice and Men context project. As we then move into Year 10, all students will finalise their coursework portfolio and finish with the writing of the third and final piece, which is the argumentative piece, a response to a text. After the coursework portfolio is completed, we then move on to the preparation of the English language examination, and that's where we begin in Term 1.2. After the winter break of Year 10, students will begin the literature content, and we study an Inspector Calls, which is our first literature examination text, and then in Term 2.2 of Year 10, we begin the study of Macbeth, the second literature examination text. At the end of Year 10, all students will sit mock examinations in all subject areas, and so it's essential for us to make sure that students are fully prepared for both their English language and English literature mock examinations, which will take place at the end of Year 10. In and amongst that, we do also have the PTE preparation for the external KHDA assessment that takes place. As students then transition into Year 11, we have the final preparation for all of their external exams. We begin our prose study of Mice and Men in Term 1.1, and then we move on to the poetry anthology study. It's a collection of 15 poems. After that, we revise all of the skills needed for students to be successful in the English language and literature GCSEs in readiness for their external exams, which begin in the summer term of Year 11. As you will have already been very much aware, the school assessment calendar has all of our CFU dates. However, you can also find a version of this stated here for you below, so as that you can see exactly when students will be being assessed and exactly what they were being assessed on in English language and literature across the entirety of Key Stage 4. In terms of our expectations of students, we obviously want them to come to class ready to learn, mentally prepared and physically prepared as well, in that all equipment and any text studied will need to come with them. Our English expectations in terms of home learning is that we set a weekly piece of home learning to all year groups, and this can be found in student teams under the assignments tab. Lesson materials will also be shared in the student team every single day should your child need to access lesson content that they may have missed. And we also, as teachers, set up a private channel for each of our students that we teach, so as that we can have a constant stream of communication with them should we need to, and it also gives us the opportunity to share any learning or support materials with our classes. In terms of what it is that you can do to help your child succeed in both English language and literature, there are many things that can support that. Essentially, for literature, the most important thing is the revision of each of the texts that we study, and you can see an example of each of the revision guides on the slide here, along with a poetry anthology revision booklet which we as a school provide for our students. All students also have a Masterlit subscription, and they can log in to masterlit.com and enter their school email address, where they will have access to a wealth of lectures on each of the literature texts that we study, which will give them a new and unique perspective on the content that we cover in class. Alongside of this, it may be beneficial as well for students to practice their critical writing skills at home, and in order to do this, they can access their student team, and they will have plenty of example past papers from each of the literature examinations, should they want to do extra study at home in terms of writing a full written essay. For English language then, there again are a wealth of materials that are available in the form of revision guides, podcasts, YouTube channels that students can sign up to or subscribe to, in which examiners give and provide resource materials and tips and hints for all students to prepare themselves best for the English language examination as well. Commonlit.org is also a website which we encourage students to use. It's free to set up an account. It has hundreds of reading comprehensions available to challenge and stretch students' reading ability and also to inspire their creative writing. In terms of who it is that you should contact in the first instance, if you need to know any further information, you will find a list of all of the English teachers and their email addresses here. Contact your child's teacher in the first instance. If there is anything specific that I can help you with as the head of department, then please do reach out. Thank you.